Why, hello. It's 2014. 2013 has come to an end, and I must say, 2013 was a really, really good year for movies. Like, it was a great year for movies. I hope this is a great year for movies, too. 2013 is probably the best year for movies of the decade so far. Like, 2010 started off bad, but it got good. It got better, like, in the summer. 2010 was pretty good year for movies. 2011 I didn't like. I didn't. That was just a really bland year for movies. 2011, a lot of bad movies came out that year. I don't know why people like that year, but I didn't. 2012, I like 2012 for movies. 2012 was a really good year for movies, actually. But I think 2013 was better. Like, a lot of surprises came out in 2013. A lot of unexpected hits, especially for me. But this isn't about the best movies. And I will upload the best movies soon. I probably won't talk about them because, I don't know, there's not really much to say for me. Also, it might be like a top 20 instead of a top 10. Like, I didn't see that many bad movies this year, really. There are some that I didn't like that didn't make this list, like Getaway and Las Vegas and Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs 2. I didn't really like any of those. But they weren't horrible enough to get in here. I know I did a top 20 last year for worst movies, but I'm not going to do one this year for a few reasons, really. Number one, I actually like making videos of the worst of the year instead of making like a little slideshow. Like, best of the year, it's different for me, so yeah, and it's just fun to talk about them. And the top 20 makes the video longer, and I don't feel like top 20 are usually just for the movies that are just really, really dull, like blah, but they just kind of bore you for the most part. And there's not really much to say about those movies. Top 10, usually, there's more to say about them, like why you didn't like them and stuff. So, yeah. And the best, I will get to the best soon, but there's still a lot of movies I want to catch up on. And for the worst now, if you like these movies, great, that is your opinion. And there's some I didn't see. Like, if you're like, why isn't this on here? Either I haven't seen it or I just like it. Like, for example, I didn't see the Smurfs 2. I didn't see Inappropriate Comedy. I didn't see White House Down. There's some other ones I didn't see. I didn't see The Host, those movies I avoided. And I didn't see G.I. Joe 2. I didn't see Tyler Perry's Temptation. I didn't see, I don't know, I didn't see The Call. I didn't see The Purge. I didn't see any of those. And there's some movies that are on people's worst list that I happen to like. Like, for example, The Incredible Burt Wonderstone. I liked it. I thought it was funny. It's on a lot of people's worst list. A lot of people hated it. Fine, but I liked it, So here's the top 10 list. Alright, number 10, A Good Day to Die Hard. I saw the first Die Hard right before I saw this. I actually really liked the first Die Hard. I think it's a really good action movie. I'm not a huge fan, but that's probably because I didn't grow up on it. But I did like it. I do think it's a really good action movie. I bet it was really awesome for the time. I didn't see the sequels. I didn't see 2, 3, or 4. I still haven't seen those. People are saying this is the worst one. And it must be. This movie, even watching the first one, this new one doesn't even feel like it's Die Hard. First of all, Bruce Willis, he looks terrible in this movie. He looks so tired. He looks like he doesn't even care. This doesn't even feel like the first one. Like, there's barely any dialogue in this movie. Literally, all I remember in this movie, a bunch of explosions, a bunch of shaky cam. There's like this 15-minute or 20-minute long car chase or something that's all like the camera's shaking around, you can barely see anything. It's so stupid, and there's so many cheesy, like, lines that try to be funny that fail. Bruce Willis, like, all he says in this movie is "I'm on vacation." That's like all I remember him saying, and he's with his son in Russia, and it's just not a good movie. I just didn't like it at all, and apparently I'm not the only one. A lot of people hate this movie. Apparently it's directed by John Moore. I haven't seen his movies, but I heard his past movies are terrible. Like, I didn't see Max Payne. I didn't see Flight of the Phoenix. I did not see the Omen remake. I haven't even seen the original, but, I haven't seen any of those. And, I don't know, I guess he's just not a good director. It's just not a good movie. Don't go see it. Number 9, The Family. Robert De Niro has had a bad year this year. Like, he was in The Las Vegas, which was not good. He was in The Big Wedding, which wasn't that good either. Big Wedding wasn't horrible. I didn't hate it as much as some people did. Like, it was a little funny here and there. But at the same time, it was pretty bad. And The Family, it's as bland as cardboard. It's so boring. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. It's not that funny. It's just not that funny of a movie. And someone online, and I wholeheartedly agree with this, it feels like a failed sitcom on Fox that only lasted one episode. Because this doesn't even feel like a movie. It feels like a TV show that didn't work. Like, it feels like a TV show you'd see on Fox or some channel that nobody watched. It only lasted like 1 or 2 episodes. Then they just canceled it. And that's really what this movie feels like. It's not funny. There's not really much to say about this one. It's just boring. Number 8, Jobs, which is the Steve Jobs biography. I was looking forward to this movie. I really wanted to see it. A lot of people were bashing it before it came out. I don't know. I thought it was going to be really interesting. People were saying that Ashton Kutcher would not make a good Steve Jobs, and yes, that was a little weird. I can't see Ashton Kutcher as Steve Jobs. Most of the movies he's in are goofy comedies. I've never seen him in a serious role. I heard he's good in The Butterfly Effect, but I did not see that movie. But this movie, the problem, it's not even him that's the problem. It's not Ashton Kutcher. Like, I don't think he's that bad in this movie. He actually does an alright job. But it's the fact that the first half of this movie is Steve Jobs, and he is so unlikable. And then, in the second half of the movie wants you to feel bad for Steve Jobs. And I couldn't. After everything he did during the first half of the movie, I could not feel bad for him. And people will say The Social Network, Mark Zuckerberg was also unlikable. But that movie didn't try to make you feel sympathetic for him. No. And I didn't like Steve Jobs. It feels like a TV movie. It shouldn't have been released in theaters. I heard there's another biography coming out. I hope it's good, because I was really disappointed by this movie. Number 7, The Croods. This just a really, really boring kids movie. Probably the worst kids movie I saw this year. Like, I love Despicable Me 2. Monsters University was okay. It's one of the weaker Pixar movies. Like, Pixar, I don't know what's happening. They seem to be getting, like, weaker and weaker. Cars 2 was bad, Brave wasn't that good, and now this isn't that good. I don't know. Monsters University I'm referring to. Probably knew that, but whatever. I didn't see Epic. I didn't Cloudy Chance of Meatballs 2 wasn't that good. Escape from Planet Earth was alright. What else? What other kids' movies did I see? Freebirds. Nah, not really. Like, the only kids' movie I loved this year was Despicable Me 2. I thought that was funny. There might be another kids' movie, but I can't remember. But The Croods, it just bored me. Like, I was in that theater and I couldn't wait to get out of there. The thing about The Croods, and it's fine, you know, it's their opinion, but people love this movie. Like, it got good reviews. It was a hit at the box office. People loved it. I can't see it. It's just, I barely remember what it was about. I remember it not being funny. I remember being bored. It's just really forgettable. The Croods, I don't really care about it. Number 7. Or no. Number 6. The Lone Ranger. This movie was near 3 hours. It was like 2.5 hours or something. It didn't need to be. It just felt long for the sake of being long. It was way too long for its own good. I mean, and you could tell they were trying to make it like the Pirates movies, the Pirates of the Caribbean, with the whole goofy Johnny Depp's character. And it wasn't funny. It just wasn't. It didn't know what it wanted to be. Like at one point it's serious and people are dying. At another point, you see Johnny Depp acting all goofy. I couldn't wait to get out of that theater while I was watching it. It was boring. I sat through the whole thing. I kind of knew it was going to be bad. I kind of just saw it because I was bored. But, yeah, it's just, you could tell they wanted this, or they expected this to be a hit. Most people, including me, knew this movie would bomb. It's basically the 2013's John Carter. Now, I haven't seen John Carter, but I say it's similar because they both had super high, ridiculously high budgets. Both flopped horribly, and it's just not good. Number 5, Safe Haven. Just another boring Nicholas Sparks adaptation. When will these end? I don't know. You know, you had a couple last year. And again, same problems with The Lone Ranger. Safe Haven does not know what it wants to be. It doesn't know if it wants to be a suspense thriller / drama, or it just wants to be a drama / romance movie. It's just not good. It's cheesy. It's boring. Maybe it's because I'm not the target audience for this or these movies, so I probably shouldn't be watching this in the first place, but whatever, you know. Like, but at the same time, that's no excuse. I've seen romantic movies that are great. The Spectacular Now. Amazing movie. That's a romantic movie. Kind of. That's a romantic drama. That was amazing. That's one of my favorites of the year. But this movie, sorry, no. Number 4, Movie 43. I will admit, I was looking forward to this movie. I actually kind of liked the trailer. And, you know, it has a humongous cast. It's very well known now as being one of the worst movies ever. One of the worst movies of all time. Like, it's not the worst movie I've seen, but, you know, it's somewhere up there. You know, it's probably somewhere in the top 30, top 40 or something. The problem with this movie, the reason why I was looking forward to it, I'll just say that, I thought it was going to be one of those movies, even with the bad reviews, I was looking forward to this movie. I was thinking it's going to be one of those movies where the humor, it's like too crazy and out there for the critics and the mainstream audiences, but as it turns out, the critics were right, the mainstream audiences were right. I was wrong. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible movie. And, you know, a lot of the people who worked on this movie have made good movies in the past, you know. Peter Farrelly, James Gunn. I like some of Steve Brill's movies, you know. But The problem with this movie is it tries so hard. It's just gross for the sake of being gross. It doesn't even feel like a movie that the Farrelly brothers or James Gunn would have made. Granted, they've made gross out movies before, but they were written in a way that made it funny. This movie, like, there's no reason for it. All of it's unnecessary. It's just shocking for the sake of being shocking. It's like the type of movie or type of thing. It's like the type of movie you would have made when you were 11 or 12 years old, and at the time think it's the funniest thing ever, and you would have put it on YouTube or something. But then a few years back, you look at that video and you think, you just cringe. Like, and it's sad because I've seen videos on YouTube with 11-year-olds or 12-year-olds that are funnier than this movie. These people have experience in film, and this movie is like the definition of an epic fail. I've seen, and I like the idea of it. I like the idea of a sketch comedy movie. You know, I know it's been done before, like with the Kentucky Fried Movie, which I haven't seen. It's on my Netflix queue, though. I do want to watch that. It's just, I like the idea because it is something different. You know, it's something new for once. But this movie didn't work. It didn't even feel like a movie the people who made it would have made. It felt like a Freeberg and Seltzer movie. Or one of the new Happy Madison movies. It doesn't feel like a movie the Farrelly brothers or James Gunn or even Steve Brill would have made. It thinks it's so edgy and offensive, but it's not. It's like a 12-year-old. It's like that annoying 12-year-old kid that cracks these inappropriate jokes that he thinks is so funny, but then everybody else, like, you know, maybe you pretend to laugh just to not hurt his feelings, depending on who you are, but it's, you know it's bad, you know it's stupid, don't watch it, yeah, it's really bad. But there are 3 movies that are worse. Number 3, 30 Nights of Paranormal Activity with a devil inside the girl with a dragon tattoo. I don't have much to say about this movie. I expected it to be awful. It was like one of the first movies I watched this year. It was like the second or... Might have been the first movie. I think it was the second or third, though. I knew it was going to be bad. I watched it anyway. It's straight-to-DVD spoof movie made by the guy who made the 41-year-old virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it. So obviously it's going to be terrible. I didn't see the 41, blah, blah, blah. But I saw this. I basically saw just see how bad it was. It was bad. It wasn't funny. It was like all the other spoof movies. Just reference jokes, pop culture jokes, all old jokes. Not funny. Very outdated. Stupid. Alright. Number 2. Grown Ups 2. Grown Ups 2, Grown Ups 2, Grown Ups 2. Again, I knew this would be bad. I don't even know why I watched this. I think I was bored. I don't know. Now, I didn't see Jack and Jill, but that was one of the trailer for Jack and Jill is one of the worst trailers I've ever seen in my life, so I'm probably never going to watch that movie. It looked like one of the most annoying comedies ever. I probably won't watch that movie. It looks stupid. Like, in a bad way, not in a funny stupid, just stupid. This movie is stupid. It's gross, like, it's bland, it's boring, there's no plot. It's just a bunch of random scenes strung together. It's basically it's just them in their hometown doing unfunny things. It's like one of the laziest sequels and one of the laziest comedies I've ever seen. Now, Grumps 1 wasn't that good to begin with. It was mediocre, but at least that had it was mediocre. It wasn't bad. It wasn't really good either, but it was like in the middle. At least that movie had a plot and had funny, good parts here and there. This movie has nothing. Like, maybe I might have laughed like 3 or 4 times. But again, same thing with the other comedies, like 30 Nights and Movie 43. These are jokes I could have come up with these jokes when I was like 11. I could have written this movie. Anyone could have written this movie. It's lazy. There's no story. It's really just a cash-in movie for Adam Sandler and his friends. I don't know what's happened to Adam Sandler. His old movies were hysterical. Billy Madison, Big Daddy. Those were Anger Management. I love those movies, but I don't know what's happened. And he's in that stupid movie. I don't know. What's it called? Blended or something? I forget the name. Yeah, that. All of his movies are the same now. He just goes on vacation, and it's not good. All right, so the number one worst movie of 2013 is, and a lot of people don't have this on their worst list. I guess a lot of people just think this movie's okay. Like, I think a lot of people saw it. It was number one at the box office. Sad, like, it was number one for like 2 weeks or something. I don't know. And I know a lot of people saw it. I think a lot of people just thought it was okay. I haven't seen it on many worst of the year list, but it's on mine. I think of the, most people have Movie 43 or Getaway or, Grown Ups 2 as their worst of the year, and horrible, horrible movies. But I don't think they're as bad as the atrocity that is Identity Thief. Now, going into this movie, Identity Thief, I wasn't expecting much, I wasn't expecting, laugh out loud material, but I was expecting to be entertaining. I was expecting, mildly entertaining, kind of forgettable, but, mildly entertaining popcorn entertainment, This movie's not that. This movie was boring. It was one of the most annoying comedies I've ever seen. It's way longer than it needs to be. It's like 2 hours or something. It's basically a copycat of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Due Date. But those movies are funny. This is not funny. This is stupid. And Melissa McCarthy, this movie almost made me not... I haven't really seen much of Melissa McCarthy. I didn't see The Heat. I actually heard that was good, but I didn't see it. This movie, almost just made me not like Melissa McCarthy. That's how bad this movie was. She plays one of the most annoying, unlikable characters I've ever seen in any movie ever. She is so cruel. This movie is just cruel. I get it's supposed to be a comedy, and I shouldn't be taking it seriously, but that's what the movie is. Jason Bateman actually does do a good job in it, and you do feel bad for Jason Bateman, and I like Jason Bateman. I love Jason Bateman. He is a really funny guy. And that movie Disconnect that came out this year shows that he's even great for dramatic roles too. I mean, he is amazing. Watch Disconnect, one of the most underrated movies of the year. Awesome movie. But Jason Bateman, he's a funny guy too, and he's made good comedies before. And he's not the problem with this movie. Melissa McCarthy isn't even really the problem with this movie. It's really the script. This has one of the most generic scripts in movie history. What's going to happen from beginning to end. And, everything you predict happens in this movie. Melissa McCarthy. First they hate each other, then they get along. And, sometimes that happens. Generic, I don't mind cliches as long as the movie is funny or entertaining. I can get by cliches. Not every movie has to be groundbreaking or original. But this movie does it in the worst way. First of all, Melissa McCarthy, again, I said she's so unlikable. She's so cruel in this movie. But then they try to make her... They do the laziest thing a movie can do, and they try to make her they try to make her likable, basically, is what they try to do. She says stuff like, I've had a bad life, I didn't have a good childhood, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, that's why I'm stealing people's identities. And she's like, people should feel bad for me. That's basically what the movie is saying. It's basically saying feel bad for this lady when you really shouldn't after everything she's done in this movie. and she goes around acting so stupid, like trying to impress people. That scene at the beginning in the bar, like she complains that people laugh at her, but they do it because she acts so stupid and mean. Like that scene at the bar at the beginning, it's a stupid movie. Don't ever watch it. Identity Thief. No. All right, so that's my worst of the year. There's not really much I can say. But yeah. So again, it was a great year for movies, 2013. These are the bad ones. Everything else was pretty good. Unless there's some I didn't, there's some I didn't see, but other than these movies, it was a great year for movies. So, yeah, let's hope 2014 is just as good, if not better. Bye.